Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a minute since we've been doing lives. We had some trouble with YouTube, and the thing with YouTube is that they will suppress content based off of how you go against community guidelines. So what was happening with me is that the first echelon YouTube reviewer, and hey, first echelon YouTube reviewer, they didn't like my content. It's not that I went against community guidelines. They just didn't like it. So they kept nailing my videos. In turn, what that did is suppress your content, shadow ban. They don't use the word shadow ban. They use this 4R thing, this like restrict, remove, reduce, or something like that. But essentially it's shadow banning. And so if you notice a lot of subscribers, I just actually looked from earlier to the video from earlier today, and like the last 10 comments, the most recent comments, guys were saying they were unsubscribed and they could not resubscribe. They tried to subscribe again. They could also not like the video. So I appealed these things, and then I went to the because I'm in the YouTube partner program currently, and just so happened today, the YouTube partner program emailed me, said, hey, we had our, I guess the higher level team reevaluate my videos. And they said, no, you didn't break community guidelines. We're not sure why they were hitting your videos. So these lower level YouTube reviewers, because they don't like the content. The thing is, I probably don't like what you think or believe either. But I feel like you should have the freedom to say whatever that is, even though I may not like it, because this is America. But again, you know, a lot of these people are clinical. They deranged because of politics. They just get so razzled about it, and they want to do some kind of vigilante justice based off their opinion. Anyhow, look at this absolute insanity here. They're handing these out at the border. Okay, these are handed out to migrants by a NGO in Mexico to encourage those entering the U.S. to illegally vote for Joe Biden. It says here, recuerda para votar por el presidente Biden cuando estés en Estados Unidos. Necesitamos otros 4 años de su mandato para permanencia abierto. And what that means is vote for President Biden when you are here in the United States. Remember to vote for President Biden when you're here in the United States. We need another 4 years so the border can stay open. They're handing these things out. This tells you exactly what their plan is. Migrants can't vote, right? Or are they going to be able to? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want to show Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley actually complaining about the border. Something they voted for. I think Charles Barkley just said that he would punch someone if he saw a black man wearing a Trump shirt, that he would punch him in the face. He said that. But listen to him here.
Streets of New York.
3 weeks ago on TV, they had these migrants. First of all, the border is a joke. The border is a joke.
Yeah.
But they had these migrants, they call them, had just bust up in New York. They got them on camera kicking and beating like cops. They beat up these
2 cops, beating up 2 cops, beating up 2 police officers.
But they were
in the subway station.
They were out of jail in 24 hours, and the next day.
Actually, it was the same day, Charles.
But 2 days later, they called them robbing Macy's. I'm like,
wow.
First of all, they beat up cops. How are you out of jail in 24 hours? And then clearly, 2 days later, they're robbing Macy's. Anybody, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, a dog, a cat, or a puppy, you know that's wrong, period.
But it's woke culture. But with woke culture and everything else that's been going on, you've got folks on the left that have endorsed a more lenient legal system, and obviously folks on the right going crazy about it and calling for law and order. Who do you side with, considering our iniquitous history, what's going on today, and who the candidates are in terms of Biden and Trump, in all likelihood, running for office? What do you do, Charles? Who do you vote for?
First of all, we need law and order, Stephen A. If we're gonna,
I agree.
If we're gonna,
I'm with you,
dude. We need law and order. Hey, trying to fix inequalities has nothing to do with letting people go in.
The sad fact is these 2 guys right here will keep voting Democrat. And the other thing is he said woke. Let me tell you, on November 21st, I made a video about Marines fighting at a bar, and I said in there woke military. That video went viral. And the problem when videos go viral is that you get people watching your videos that are probably not aligned with your beliefs. People, if you go look at the comments of the video, November 21st, people went absolutely bananas because I said the military's got woke. Like they wrote whole theses saying that I was a racist for saying woke. It's crazy. Woke means that you're a sheep that fall for Marxist ideologies. But what Charles and those guys are just talking about is something known as, we've talked about quite a bit, anarcho-tyranny. And essentially what it is that the way to control the tyranny, the tyrannical leaders, control the opposition, the citizens that oppose them, while being lenient on real criminals. And they do this to get control, and they allow criminals to do what they do. But these guys will continue to vote in this direction. Now, it's no question. We've heard it. I've heard him say, he asked, will you vote for Trump? He won't say it. He'll keep voting for Joe Biden and the Marxism and communism that is headed our way. And going back to the woke military, the military has become woke. They've indoctrinated our military. If you look at a lot of these young soldiers, it's about as bad as university campuses 15 years ago. Okay, I mean, it's still going on now. But they seceded because they started 15 years ago. Did you know that the Air Force pays for breast implants? Listen to this.
Amazing boobs. So if you have any sort of mental problem with your body or like body dysmorphia, they'll give you a free cosmetic surgery because they want their soldiers to be confident. So it was a free boob job.
Wow. Say what? Your taxpayer dollars are paying for future OnlyFans models. So you can feel confident. And she also said soldiers. Ma'am, you were in the Air Force. You know you're called airmen, not soldiers. That's the Army. That's how lost she was. She went in just to get that breast implant. Now, have you ever wondered why there hasn't been I made this shirt, support or protect women's sports. Go pick one up if you haven't. Show that you're not, with guys competing against women. But we always said, why are women not competing against guys? Why are they not going in there and competing against guys? That's always been the question, because they're not doing that. Have you ever wondered what happens when a woman goes against a man? Well, Patricio Manuel, a transgender boxer, biological female who underwent surgery and extensive hormone therapy to live as a male, tons of testosterone injections, was knocked out in 21 seconds of the first round. It's also kind of fitting that Reyes here, her opponent, has a cross on his shorts and laid this chick out. Incredible, right? Incredible. So that's what happens whenever they compete in women's sports. So let's talk about the topic of the video tonight. Now I've got a lot more stuff. Don't worry. This is a full on late night live. We're getting back to it. I missed it too. So people were praising Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. They were saying, man, this guy's great. He's on fire. He's up there with Donald Trump. He's up there with Trump. Trump's backing him. Him and Trump put together a bill to stop migrants from voting. And my first question was like, why is Trump over there with this guy? This freaking snake in the grass. Because the House passed a warrantless spying on Americans bill by a vote of 259 to 128 that Mike Johnson jumped in on, right? This happened on Monday. It was motion to reconsider HB 7888, which is the renew the FISA 702, and FISA means the Foreign Intelligence Service Act. And but basically what it boils down to is that it allows warrantless surveillance on innocent Americans. This was a complete betrayal of Americans. And a lot of the left are saying, no, it's to stop the cartels from bringing fentanyl here. They're not worried about that. They're worried about getting into the Facebook Messenger of the soccer mom that is at the parents' teachers' conferences complaining about the indoctrination happening to their children. That's who they want to look for, not the fentanyl. They could have stopped that a long time ago. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Andy Biggs, you folks from Arizona probably know him, Republican there. He tried to add a mandate that federal authorities would have to obtain a warrant before surveilling actual American citizens, because they said, no, it's for people outside the U.S. that coming into all this nonsense. He put this in place to try to stop NSA, CIA, FBI from getting into Americans' personal information, surveilling them. They had to have a warrant to do it. Well, guess what? Republicans and Democrats joined together to kill Biggs' proposal. Why would they do that? Because you heard the saying that two wings of the same bird. You know, basically what this is going to do is reauthorize their government's use of FISA for the next 2 years. Now, if you remember, in 2016, the FBI used FISA, abused FISA, let's say abused, let's use that word, to spy on Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Remember that? You remember Russia? Yeah. So this led to the massively influential false claims against Donald Trump that was he was a Russian asset and that Russia stole the election for Trump. That was part of that. They used FISA to do it. The feds have also used FISA to surveil hundreds of thousands of Americans, probably you and I. According to Brennan Center for Justice, agencies such as the FBI and CIA has cited the statute to carry out more than 200,000 warrantless searches every year to snoop through Americans' private communications, right? All your comms. Got your cell phones tapped. Oh, you're using all these secret encoded. No, they're getting it. Now, back to Rand Paul says, no, Edward Snowden. Let's go to Edward Snowden. NSA, this dude knows firsthand. He was in it. He saw it. The NSA is just days away from taking over the internet. It's not the front page of any newspaper because no one noticed. Now, let me tell you what when I Googled, let me get back to this. When I Googled this for this video tonight, it wasn't popping up. This was popping up. Oh, House Speaker reveals complicated approach to passing aid for Ukraine and Israel. So they tried to pass in. Look, first off, I don't think we should give money to anybody. I'm tired of that. Give money to Americans. I'm tired of that. But they try to do just an Israel bill. No, Mike Johnson. No, we're doing Ukraine too. Why? Because he's in bed with these folks. He's in bed with these folks. That's what popped up. They're cheering him on. The leftists are cheering him on like a hero, this guy. But because he was up there with Trump last week and Trump was patting him on the back. No. So Edward Snowden, if the bill becomes law, any company or individual that provides any service whatsoever may be forced to assist in NSA surveillance as long as they have access to equipment on which communications are transferred. So that would mean cell phones. That would mean social media. That would mean essentially everything that you communicate with anybody on. You on a ham radio, it doesn't matter what it is. Every line of communication, right? And talk to anybody in the intelligence field, they'll tell you, dude, like even if you go naked out in the woods to go talk to somebody, both of you are naked, you know there's no wires there, they can still listen to you. There's nothing secret. There's no way to get around it. They have everything. But the difference is now they can do it without a warrant. They can do it because some FBI Marxist wants to surveil you because he didn't like your Facebook post. Right? Yeah, the Constitution, somebody just said it. The Constitution will be soon dead. That's right. Because it is. Globalists are going to take it over. Along with the help of neocons. Rand Paul said Speaker Johnson was incredibly wrong to vote with Democrats against the Fourth Amendment when he killed the FISA warrant requirement and wrong to give it into the Dems spending demand. As I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between him being in charge and Democrats being in charge. Absolutely, Rand Paul. Absolutely. Man, glad somebody's saying it. This might be the only dude locked on out there. Really. This might be the only dude that is in the know. Because I've seen so many people cheering Mike Johnson on. Yeah, man, he's up there with Donald Trump. They're passing this. I've seen all the Patriot influencers posted him and Trump together. Yeah, man, Mike Johnson did it. He's one of us. No, he ain't. Not even close. Not even close. People got to stop falling for this stuff. It's getting old. You know why we're losing the battle? Because this kind of nonsense. And then, dude, I wanted to do a whole video on this, and I might. I'm just going to mention it just for. Have you seen the absolute just slaughter going on between veterans? Dude, veterans are literally taking each other's heads off right now. I mean, dude, they're sparing nobody. They're going after Jocko Willink, dude. They're going after everybody. Everybody's up. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you have to think, man, it's election season. Like, why would all these people be attacking their own? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's got to be by design. It's got to be. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Your brother will put you a knife in your back before anybody else will. Hey, guys, I do want to take just 1 second before I move forward. I got a lot more stuff. Don't worry. But I usually don't like to shield 2 days in a row. However, because that video was suppressed yesterday, I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. Now, it was Patriots Day yesterday, and it's actually Patriots Week. I don't know if you know that because the Battle of Lexington and Concord, how the Revolutionary War started. Incredible history. And if you don't know about Lexington and Concord, go read it. I would highly suggest it. But anyway, I teamed up with Black Forest Supplements to give you guys a jam up deal. It's a lot of money still, but 35% off, right? This is a 60-day supply of some very life-changing supplements. The berberine, the pink label one here, will help with insulin. Dude, if you have like diabetes, you take metformin. A lot of people take berberine in it because it's natural instead of metformin, because metformin does horrible things to your body. Like, you better be around a toilet if you're taking metformin. And then you have NMN, which is an absolute incredible product. It is the limitless pill. It helps with everything, cognitive, performance. Man, let me pull this down just for a moment and see if you can see this. Dude, I don't know if you can tell. Somebody said this in a video the other week. They're like, dude, you look younger. Now I'm a little tired right now, so I got some bags because I've been up for a long time today. But I had horrible, go look at my old videos. Had horrible crow's feet here, guys. Horrible, like all the way down to here. Gone. Literally, it's gone. Gone from NMN. I don't do anything else. I don't put lotion on or anything, any of that girly stuff, dude. I just take NMN. And when that dude said, hey, man, you look younger, and I went and looked, and I said, dude, my wrinkles are gone from NMN. So it helps with metabolic function, working out, increasing your performance, everything, man. I won't live without it. The FDA is trying to take it from you because of the fact is that they don't want anything to make you better. They just don't. They just took peptides off the market. I know a lot of my followers do peptides, and I've done them in the past. I never really noticed the difference of peptides Tell me in the comments if you did. I'm curious. But I've tried some, but they didn't really do anything for me. They helped me sleep better. That was it. But no performance enhancement. And then Tomcat Ali and Turkesterone. Andrew Huberman, who is under attack by the left. They're trying to cancel that guy. He's the one who put me on the Tomcat Ali. He's a genius, freaking doctor, neuroscientist, lab at Stanford. Dude's a genius. Anyway, he's never come directly out and said his political affiliation, but you can gather he's a red guy. But anyway, he put me on Tomcat Ali. He did this study. They actually did blood work on this guy. I forget. I think it was maybe Mark Bell's channel. And they had him take Tomcat Ali 60 days, dude. His testosterone jumped to the roof. Turkesterone is known to be a muscle building compound. So the Russians actually have used it for 30 years. They had the most research on it. And people say there's no research on it. Yes, there is. Tons of it. Go read it. Go read the science papers. There's tons of them. I've read all of them. I read all paperwork on every study of every supplement I take. So I know exactly what the studies say because I don't want to waste my money. I don't want to waste my time. And I don't want to take anything that's going to hurt me. But turkesterone will build muscle. It's an equisteroid, non-hormonal. So it's not going to mess with your hormones. So females and males can both take it. Right? It's not gonna, you're not gonna like fall off. Like when you take steroids or testosterone, when you stop, dude, your natural testosterone has stopped being produced. So you have a plummet, and then your estrogen grows up. You get gynecomastia, man boobs, they call it. It doesn't do any of that. But the Russians have used it because it's safe. It's not. They're trying to actually. USADA's trying to put on the list to ban it, or WADA, one of them, are trying to ban it in sports, but because they don't want the competitive edge, you can't. I don't even think you can do caffeine or anything, or creatine. You can't do creatine, so they're trying to put turkesterone in there. But the Russians have used it for their Olympic athletes, soldiers. Like it's proven. It's not. You hear guys, oh, it don't work. You probably don't know how to eat or work out. That's probably why it didn't work for you. That it works for me, dude. I'm actually taking it now. I was 200. I've been taking this stack Turk and Tomcat. I take NMN, and I've been taking it for 2 months. I'll start out at 200. I'm 215 right now, and maybe a little over 2 months. I'm 215 now. So 60-day supply, and also we're giving money 10% of this. If you buy this bundle, we're giving 10% to Military Outreach, which is a Christian organization that helps veterans that's homeless with PTSD and drug addiction, these sort of things. It's a Christian organization. I love, dude, I'm a veteran. Lots of you guys are veterans. We could have all wound up homeless. Okay. We could have all wound up homeless. Yeah, somebody said this, Joseph, good on you. You still got to train just as hard, no matter if you take juice or not, and get the results you don't. Yeah, exactly, man. Because you hear a lot of people say, oh, I'll see comments, oh, that guy is on TRT. It wouldn't matter. I can go point out 500 guys to that one guy that's overweight on testosterone, TRT. It's not magic. You got to work out and you got to eat. That's the thing. A lot of people take these supplements or take whatever, and they think they're going to get. No, man, you got to put in the work. Lift the weights. Go to failure. That's important. Go to failure. True failure. Not like you can pump out 3 or 4 more reps. Failure. That's why machines shine on hypertrophy, which is muscle building. A lot of people, like, I used to think, I see the machines. I'm going to barbells. Machines will help you go to true failure because you can push, because you're not worried about getting crushed by a 225-pound barbell. You can go to true failure on a machine. Anyway, let me get back to the video. Go. I'm gonna put the link below. Go pick it up. Again, I don't like to shield 2 days in a row, but I don't want you guys to miss out on that deal because that's a great deal. It's normally like $450, so you're getting it for 35%, and then you're also helping other veterans. That's actually the organization I always give to, and every time I partner with somebody, that's the organization I give to. That's the main one that I have a heart for. So anyway, let's go to the global conflict. Let's not forget about this because you're not heard the news about it. You notice this. I want you to pay attention to me when I'm talking. Pay attention to me because all the time people are like, well, I ain't heard nothing else about it. You're not going to hear about it. They want you to not know about it. Iran vows to respond within seconds if they get attacked. They said that today. They said they're going to respond within seconds. It's also been reported that they are getting a freaking terrifying arsenal from Russia, including anti-aircraft launchers and fighter jets. And it's threatening to fire weapons that's never been used in a severe, extensive, and painful response. That's never been used. And they said from the slightest action, it's not over. It's far from over. A lot of people are like, well, I hadn't heard about it on TikTok today, so it must be over. No, it's still happening because the other guys, they said they're going to do something too. So we'll get thrust into it. Don't worry. That's why they're bringing back the draft. I actually seen an article. I was actually going to talk about that tonight. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. They're talking about this whole article about the draft. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of Americans are seeing the writing on the wall, dude. Look at this. CNBC. U.S. families are increasingly applying for second citizenships and national residences as a way to hedge their financial risk, according to a leading law firm. The wealthy are building these passport portfolios, if you will, collections of second and even third and fourth citizenships in case they need to flee their home country. One law firm that specializes in high net worth citizenship said Americans now outnumber every other nationality when it comes to securing alternative residences or added citizenships. Recent high profile examples of second citizenships includes billionaire tech investor Peter Thiel, who added a citizenship to New Zealand, and a former Google CEO named Eric Schmidt. You probably remember him. We've talked about him quite a bit. He's an evil son of a gun, who applied for one in Cyprus. So, yeah. Now, this has been a thing for a long time. This is not anything new, but they're saying it's ramping up. And depending on the next election, guys, this could be a serious thing because the American passport, and I never thought about this, the American passport may wind up not being any good. In the book of Mercy from Neil Strauss, he wrote a long time ago, and he's a leftist, I think, or he was. I think he was. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he was. But anyway, it's a great book. He wrote about, he was an author for Rolling Stone. He wrote a bunch of biographies. I think Jenna Jameson's. He wrote a couple rock bands. And again, he was a Rolling Stone author. So he's probably severely, but this was a long time ago. This is not anything recently, before everybody went political. Now, in the book, essentially, he goes through, he talks to, I think, Tim Ferriss, and Tim Ferriss, he wrote 4 Hour Body, 4 Hour Work Week, those sort of books, good books, 4 Hour Chef. Anyway, he's telling him about that a lot of these billionaires have bunkers. They have different passports. They have, all this thing set up. And so he's like, I'll introduce you to some. So he went to lunch with some, and he found out that most of them have bunkers. They have helicopters. They have, citizenships, multiple passports. They've gotten themselves set up because all of them think something's going to happen. I think something personally is going to happen too. I've always had. That's why I'm in this business. I have for the past, 39 years. 39 years I've known something was going to happen. Anyway, so in the book, essentially what he does is he starts training in survival. He starts going through various survival courses, shooting courses. He gets, I think, like CERT trained. He joins a CERT team, and he does all these different experiments. Now he's trained with a lot of my friends in there, actually. A lot of my friends are in the book as well, written in the book. They trained him during this time period when he was writing this book. So it's a very good book. And you can kind of see his like collaborative process for what he found important. Now, and why I'm even telling you this is because it may be something you want to read. It's a good book. Whenever you see gaps in survival, because whenever, like I said, I've been in survival for a very long time, way before it was popular. People thought I was weird before. And then it became popular because like doomsday prepping and stuff. But by that time, I'd already been in the game a long time. but I'm more into survival, like old school, like poor man's James Bond. That's like what my type thing. I'm into the old school stuff. Kurt Saxon. And if you don't know who that is, shame on you. You should know who that is. Anyway, but he goes through the collaborative process. Now, the thing is that I thought was unique is because a lot of my opinion on what I think is important for survival, which is a broad spectrum, he felt the same way as well. Because a lot of people get so focused, and a lot of people get focused down these weird things, like they'll get hooked into bushcraft, or then they'll start doing like EDC, where they're like taking pictures of handkerchiefs with folding knives and carrying around beads and stuff, weird things. But I think it's a collaborative process. Whenever you're looking at how many different types of scenarios you could face and how well prepared you could be for all these scenarios, and start thinking these things. So that's why I think it's a good book, especially if you're new to this. It's a good thing. Or just watch my videos, because I mean, I feel the same way. I believe the same thing I have for a very long time. But oh man, Byron saying even the preppers are in fighting. Everybody is. No, nobody's safe. Dude, the Jocko links us. I mean, man, wow. I mean, the guys that's calling him out is like very well respected, like senior chiefs, saying horrible things about him, well as many other popular SEALs, a lot of them. But we knew that the SEAL community is the most cutthroat community. No, SEALs don't like each other. If you didn't know that, they hate each other. They go after each other. They're the most envious group of people. That long live the brotherhood is not true whatsoever. Goggins talks about it. I've talked to Goggins about it. It's not a real thing. That's a catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? Let me hit some of you guys up. Chris, thanks, man. Bear, thank you, brother. Chris Sabo, thanks. Rificite Productions, thank you. Said you've been watching your stuff since I was like 17. As a grown man now at 26. I can't thank you enough, man. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I love to hear the young men's stories. Chris, thanks, man. ESPN, when ESPN says it's bad, it is bad. Am I right? Angry Joker, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Lifetime subscriber. Chris Sabo, thanks. Kent, thanks, guys. Chris Sabo, man, you really hooked it up tonight, brother. I really appreciate it, man. Jonathan says that YouTube blocked my messaging unless I use super chats for leaving a comment that California Communist State. Yeah. Farmer John, thank you. Block Lightning, thanks, buddy. Michael Kennedy. Yep, Michael Kennedy's correct. That electronic lock is vulnerable to EMP. Make sure you have a secondary way to get in. One thing I want to talk about the guy, Chris, man, I love to see it because there's a lot of young guys that do follow me. I think it's incredible. One guy turned out to be the Weapon Snatcher. Weapon Snatcher's got a channel, a friend of mine. But he was a former Marine. He was a bodyguard, and he was bodyguard for a news crew during this event. He wound up being on the news. You probably saw it. But essentially, Antifa members were rioting, burning stuff up, flipping cop cars over, and they bust in a cop car and pulled out an AR-15. The Weapon Snatcher is guarding a news crew because it's getting very violent. He's obviously has a firearm. He tells the news crew, "Can I go handle this?" He sprints across the street, takes all the AR-15s from the guys, right? Holds them down at gunpoint. Anyway, he hit me up and I saw the video. Like when I saw the video happening, I was like, "That I guarantee." I was telling my buddy, I said, "That dude's a Marine, 100%." You can just tell Marines act a certain way, and it's not to bash anybody else or any other branch because all you guys are heroes too. But there's a certain way a Marine carries. I can see a Marine, and maybe it's a Marine thing. Marine can see another Marine. I can see a Marine, and I know that's a Marine. When I saw him on TV, I said, "That's a freaking Marine, dude. That's a Marine." He wound up hitting me up and said, "Man, I've been following you since I was a teenager. I think it was 15. And he joined the Marine Corps and followed me the whole time." I thought it was just cool. It was cool. And then seeing him on TV, obviously handling business, it made me proud. But it's good to know that. It's good to know that you have that community, man, and you have good and dude, even the 70-year-olds that hit me up, like Miss Gladys, as well as a lot of you other folks, man. I do appreciate you hanging out with me and hanging in there. I apologize for the lives. YouTube's just been giving me hell. So, it's like, what can a man do? Obviously, I thought about doing alternate things like Patreon stuff, but I really am not trying to ask you guys for money. I'd rather YouTube pay me the money while you watch. The commies pay me, take their money, and not you pay me. I don't want to ask you for anything other than what you want to give me. If you want to support my company, Black Scout Survival, or support any of my affiliates, any people that I'm a partner with, I only partner with a couple people, man. Most people don't want to deal with me because I am a conservative, a real conservative. I'm not, I'm not like out here just faking the funk. It's really what I believe. So, and that's the way it is, man. But, and I'm gonna always tell like it is. I know I'm not going to get famous because I tell the truth, my truth, too much sometimes. I should probably be way more political, but I'm just not good at it. I'm like I lack impulse control. So anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Please leave a comment, man. Please, please, please help me with these algorithm commies. And YouTube reviewer, I didn't really cross community guidelines, so let's not say I did. Anyway, guys, make sure to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Go hit that link below. Go get 60-day supply. Check it out. Check it out. And then tell me that I'm telling the truth. That's all I want to hear. Take care, guys.